Hi everyone, it's Annie over at StampAnniething, and today I'm going to do a Melanie hair coloring tutorial for you. We're going to start with doing a cute little redhead using our Melanie stamp. The technique I use is exactly the same for every color variation. I start with my second darkest color, and in this case it's the YR18. I placed the colors that I used in order up on the screen for you so you can follow along. So I'm just laying down where I think some of the shading of where the flicks of her hair is going to go. And after I do that with the second darkest color, I go over it with the next color, which is YR27. And I just use a flicking action when I do the coloring of her hair. And I do turn my images over when I'm going from the bottom to the top, so I still get that good flicking action in there. Next, I'm using that YR23, and I'm basically filling in all of where the white spaces were showing through. And now I go back in with my darkest color of R59. This is the shortest strokes that I use just to really darken up where those shades and the shadows and the hair folds are going to be. After I go with my darkest color, I'm going to go back to the colors that I've already used, and I'm just going to blend out those darker colors so the edges are not a really, really harsh dark color against the contrast of the light. And I just do the same exact steps over again with the other colors that I just used until I get a better blend. And there you go. There is pretty much our little redheaded girl. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to start on a blonde-headed girl for you. Again, my second to the darkest color of E27, laying down where I feel that the folds of the shades of her hair are going to lay. It's the exact same technique we just did with the other one. And the dark colors are always going to be, on the under parts of hair for the most part, and that's just a good guide to go by. Here we're using our YR24, just going over where we just laid that E27 just to get it a little bit more smooth. Flipping her over and doing my flick motion from the bottom up. Our Y26. Again, just going over to keep blending them out and getting those strokes longer and longer for a finer blend. And then our Y21, filling in all of the gaps of the white areas that were left. Some people like to leave the white areas. That's just a personal preference, up to you. Here we go with our E59. Again, these are our shortest flick motions. This is the darkest area of the hair, which are her roots and wherever her hair is falling underneath. And you would get the most shadow. But as you can see, it's a really dark contrast against the lighter colors. So we just go back over it again with some of our other colors until we can blend out so it's not so harsh. And we just keep repeating this and keep feathering it out more and more until we get a smooth transaction. Now we're going to start on our brunette girl with our E79. Continuing with our little flicking motion, getting in where we think those little folds of hair are going to be. Onto our E44, extending those lines out for a better transition. Into our E43, again, just keep blending out that flicking motion, filling in some of the spaces. YR31, and you might be asking why I'm using a yellow marker if I'm doing a brunette hair, and that's just so that there's a little bit of a lightness to her hair when you put in these darker shadows. When you see her up against the other blonde that we did, you'll notice that she does definitely look more of a brunette, even though in here right now she probably looks more of a dirty blonde girl, but she's going to look more brunette when we're all done. And here we are with our darkest color, E49. Getting that nice strong contrast of color in there. And going back to our other colors, the E79 first, to help blend out those dark E49 strokes. Just filling in some colors here. It's just what's going to personally appeal to you at one point as well. How much shading you go, how many strokes you put in, how dark you want her to be. And there's our brunette. And now we're going to do our ebony girl, which actually just has a black and blue tone highlight in here. So we're starting with our W7. And blending it out now with our W5. A little bit different here. We take our B05 and we fill in kind of where we think that those highlight parts of the lighter parts of the hair are going to be. So I'm not really doing a flicking action, as I'm just doing more of a fill-in action. And now here's our black 100 color, just again, those dark roots and the undershadows for her shading of her hair. Get that nice contrast going. And you'll see that well, it's hard to see in this video, and I apologize that my lighting is not very good when I do these videos, but you'll see that there is a big contrast from where the black is to the blue. So we're going to be going over in just a few moments back with our W7 and W5 to connect where the black is ending to make it go seamlessly better into the blue. And I'll do that in just a second. Back to the W7, blending out that black so it now starts to go over where the blue is. And now the W5, actually putting that over the blue. And it puts a little bit of a cast onto the blue, which is really nice. And then I always take back the blue at the end just to pump up the color a little bit. And there you have it. Here's our ebony girl, our redhead girl, our blonde girl, and our brunette girl. And as you can see now, the brunette girl definitely is brunette in contrast to that blonde. I hope you enjoyed our tutorial.